All right, happy day, whatever day you're watching this. My question for today is, what if you would write a book? What would it be called? Inside of us, I think about 85% or so people really would love to write a book, but only 1% do it. And my challenge might be like, if you would, start with this. What would it be called? And it's not that you have to be a published New York Times bestseller or anything like this, but if you could even just write a little tiny book and something you say, this is my manifesto. This is why, this is what's on my heart. Is it an autobiography, or is it something with the skills or the life lessons that you've learned? I think we've all had different challenges or victories or whatever that could have potentially inspire someone, give someone hope. But that might be my question for you is, what is yours? Well, back in 2012, a little bit about my background and history is I absolutely hated books furiously. Didn't read, didn't want to read, didn't like to read until my beautiful wife challenged me that said that she would shoot a gun if I would read a book. So I don't know. I was like, I like to hunt. I was like, okay, all right, I'll do it. So I took her up on it. Great book. All of a sudden I found out that there's a style of book I really liked. So I was like, wow, that was actually pretty good. And then all of a sudden now I got multiple bookshelves full. So I feed myself with those too. But it's interesting how this is kind of one of those inverse calling things. That thing that you hate the most sometimes might be the thing in life that might be the biggest calling. So I went from a person in life who absolutely hated books, and I was like, no. All of a sudden now it's like God put on my heart in 2012. He says, I want you to write a book. I was like, what? And then eventually it was like, yeah, absolutely. And the word exponential came in, exponential purpose, and it wouldn't go away. And he said, not yet. I want you to gather and capture and gather and capture. So pretty much for however long I've been gathering, capturing, and I'm a serious student. So I just got tons of notes, notebooks, principles. I got tons of little analogies, pictures, stories, all those certain things that have come through and have really kind of come to the culmination of what this book is really all about. Here's all the chapters, and here's all the outlines, and here's everything, and it breaks down foundationally from one side to the other about how God is the foundation of everything, and really He's calling us to something huge, and every single person has a calling. And the neat thing is, I've ran this through people. It's kind of fun. I ran through one of my mentors. He's a pastor. He was a chiropractor, and he ended up had a calling, and he ended up becoming a pastor. And I ran this through him. I was like, dude, you were did very well, both success-wise, career-wise, financially, all these different levels. And he said, no, God called me to do this thing, and I became a pastor. And so I ran this by. I checked him yesterday. I said, I want you to run it through of everything. And he goes, wow, dude, there's a lot of thought you put into this. And I think one of the biggest things the Flash said, it's not necessarily a lot of thought as much as it's a lot of obedience. But it's a listening tool. It's a way to find out what someone's calling, what's that thing. So the book that I'm called to write is called Exponential Purpose. It's unleash that God-given potential, because inside of us, every single person has that as well. So in my head, in my heart, it's really a written thing now. So I'm setting up meetings, I'm setting up callings, because I'm gonna get this thing written. And the fun thing is, I've already had some pretty good conversations with people, and the whole point is on making it simple. Something called far side simplicity. Another different mentor is kind of like E = MC squared. What I've done is there's this huge, if you've ever seen my whiteboard, I do about 3-4 times a day. This thing fills up and it empties, it fills, it empties, it fills, it empties. And this is kind of what today looked like earlier. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So that was just, again, just different modules, principles, or whatever. But it built up, and it's like, boom. So I capture and I dump it, capture and I dump it. And I wake up in the morning, I get flashes. And so there's this big, huge, massive equation. And then it all came down to 40 words. And in the 40 words, it actually boiled down to one. So it's called Far Side Simplicity. So it's not, I've been working on it some time, super excited about it. But yeah, that next step is that calling. It's like, what are we going to do next? What are we going to do next? And it's going to challenge someone to say, it's not necessarily to write the book, but if you would, what would that title or calling be? And that's your identity and who it is and who God might be forming you to be for that next calling or whatever. So hope this finds you well. Hope you have a very powerful, beautiful, wonderful day. Take care. Bye.